Good afternoon, race fans, as we welcome you to Auto Club Speedway for the Auto Club 400, our 10th race of the Winston Cup Series. As there's the starting lineup over on the left side of your screen. Turner is on the pole position alongside Jerry Harvick, Luigi Cadet, and Elena Aurora. Trying to make sure everybody rolls off, make sure they get credit for points. Turner is 18th in the points. Jerry Harvick 30th in the standings. 39th for Luigi Cadet. And the 31 of Elena Aurora is 10th in the standings. J TwoTwo, the points leader by 26 points over Bouvier. Luke Knight is third in the points, 35 back. 37 back is Margaret Jacobs. 48 back is Ben Tennyson. Betty Johnson's 50 back. In sixth, seventh is Cody Smart. Eighth is A Crenshaw. Ninth, Tatum Wright, who is tied with Elaine Aurora for 10th position. Going to check to make sure nobody's having any issues back here. Cody Smart starting really deep in the field here today. 38 laps of racing, an extra 13 laps from our Trucks and Busch Series races we've had here this weekend. Our Truck Series race had one caution, went clean and green all the way. That was the different story in yesterday's Busch Series race that only had 3 cautions. So we're going to have to see how that will play out. Is anybody having troubles? Looks like the answer is no. Here we go to the green flag. We're racing at the Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. All right, everybody took the green, so no issues as far as that's concerned. All 8 of our former winners are inside the top 30 in the points table. Zachary Taylor is the lowest in the points. He is a total of, as I'm looking here at the tally, he is a total of 14 points ahead of 30th in the standings as Turner led that first lap. This is Timmy Turner's home race, by the way. Luigi Cadet in second. So Zachary Taylor will need to stay inside the top 30 in points, or his win from the season opener is not going to count for a playoff berth. And if anybody wants to win this race here this weekend, it would be the Timster, because this is his home race. We talked about, drivers on this channel that have raced at home, like Travis Crampton, Nathan Norman, etc., Jackie Tang also included. This is critical for Turner because this is his home race, as I said. He is from California, and we have been to his other home race, right, and also Riley Anderson's home race of Sonoma earlier this year. Checking back here at the rear of the field here. Brittany White, J TwoTwo, the points leader, 3 wide between Brittany White and Betty Barrett in the BAM Racing Dodge. J TwoTwo came into this race as the points leader. The gal who's trying to run him down for the points lead, as we're going to find her in just a second, that's Josephine Bouvier. She's running in the 14th position, came in this race second in the points. And looks like Turner's about to lose the lead to Luigi Cadet. It's been a very struggling season for Luigi Cadet, 39th in the points table. If anything couldn't go wrong for Luigi Cadet this season, it has. As he's really, like I said, so far down the points table, he just has 100 points entering today's race. And look at Turner, just power around the outside. He has a lot of speed. Turner is trying to make the playoffs in the 32 as he takes the lead back. Turner was 10 points below the playoff cut line, which Jessica Miller held that final spot, that 16th position in the points. As I mentioned in the Diva Bush Series race yesterday, next week will be going to Las Vegas to finish up the West Coast portion. All three series will be in action. Then we'll head to Talladega for Bush and Cup. Trucks will take an off week. And then we head to Michigan for, originally was going to be for Winston Cup, but it will be Bush and Winston Cup to finish up the first half of the regular season. Then we'll have the All-Star race for Winston Cup only. And then we'll be racing at Charlotte for the 600 weekend, which all three series will be there. Mia Watts back here at the rear of the field. A couple of drivers who are running well in points like Betty Johnson. This is not where they need to be. Good thing for Betty Johnson. She has a fairly healthy cushion between herself and 30th in the standings, so can definitely afford a poor result. However, this guy cannot afford a poor result, Zachary Taylor, as he's back here in the 35th position. So this is not where Zachary Taylor needs to be. Jacob TwoTwo, the points leader, this is not where he needs to be. As Timmy Turner, who is born and raised here in Southern California, from Dimsdale, which is a town in California. There's Luigi Cadet, and there's Ponzo Albanese running in the third position. Ponzo Albanese comes into this race 35th in the points. He's only led one lap so far this season. He's looking underneath the Tide Pontiac. If you're hearing SportsCenter in the background, I'm sorry. They're second in points, Josephine Bouvier. Remember, she is the one who's trying to run down Timmy Turner for the points lead. Josephine Bouvier is 41 points ahead of the cut line as far as the playoff grid is concerned. Still looking for her first win on the season. Good runs for Vanko Seaman, Luigi Cadet. There's Ben Tennyson, Tatum Wright in 7th, Ashley Horton 8th, Luke Knight running in 9th, and Senor Sean Art complete your top 10. Sean Art is another one of those drivers who hasn't had the best of seasons so far, but he's been getting it back together in the last couple of weeks. Comes this race 15th in the points. He is only a total of 4 points below the cut line. Samantha Grainger is 3 points below the cut line as entering this race. And remember, if Zachary Taylor falls outside the top 30 in points, just like that, one of them would be in the playoffs as of now, with only 16 to go. But still plenty of time for drivers to get wins to stay inside the top 30 in the points. Because I'm going to throw this out. The regular season finale is going to be at a super speedway where if anybody inside the top 30 wins, they're into the playoffs, no matter what anybody else does. And we saw it in the Foster series in the final season of Foster's, where Quentin Moore, who came into that race at Daytona in Foster's in a must-win situation to make the playoffs, pulled off a last-second desperate move and got himself into the playoffs and made the playoffs after that, and which went to good use for him in that 34 team for Front Row Motorsports at the time, as Ben Tennyson has taken the race lead, and we're getting closer to the midway point of today's race. Ben Tennyson, 5th in the points table. He's only led 8 laps so far this season. J TwoTwo has led the second most laps at 32. The most laps led is Ashley Horton, who is right there, by the way. Speaking of Ashley Horton. Actually, correction, Betty Johnson was only 17 points above the cut line. I think she'd been the victory lane. It's Annie Thomas who I'm thinking of. Zachary Taylor down in dead last. That's not where Taylor needs to be. And like I said, another poor result will put Zachary Taylor outside the top 30 in the points table, and his win would not count for a spot into this season's chase for the championship. But still got plenty of regular season races to go. We finish up the West Coast races next week at Las Vegas. Those races will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so right when everybody gets out of school on the East and almost the Central Time Zone. Then the following week, we'll go to Talladega. Talladega, I think, is going to be one of those wild card races on the calendar. Of course, remember, we have 8 Bowl that is on the schedule, which all 3 series should run at least one more. I know the trucks will have Talladega later in the year. That'll be when we have a split weekend, if I'm correct. I'll have to look at the schedule, though. As Ashley Horton leads the lap, as we're now at the midway point of today's race. Betty Johnson currently the leader. While this is going on, we're going to go ahead and step away for a commercial break, and on the other side of the break, more Winston Cup Series racing here at Auto Club Speedway. Don't go anywhere. PCSRA Racing will come back here on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Welcome back to the Blue Hedgehog TV's coverage of the Auto Club 400 here at the Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. We're on lap number 22, about the start of 38. Daniel Vols here in Fontana, California. Ashley Graham, our producer and engineer, back at our PCSRA studios. Ashley Reynolds, the Ashley and Ashley Show. Ashley Reynolds, we've seen her in the Monster Energy series. Ashley Horton, a former Truck Series driver. There goes Ashley Reynolds to the lead in the UPS Ford. See where Ashley Reynolds is in the points. Ashley Reynolds is 32nd in the points table. She is only a mere 7 points back of 30th in the standings. Nothing has happened while we were away from commercial break. I was getting some ice, is why we took a bit of a commercial break, which hopefully you guys are okay with that. Of course, the AI got lowered to 103. That's why we're seeing a lot of cars spread out here. Ben Tennyson, Josephine Bouvier, Luigi Cadet running in fifth. Riley Anderson sixth. Seventh is Jessica Miller. Tatum Wright eighth. Luke Knight or Kevin Joseph about to lose a spot to Timmy Turner, who's about to lose a spot to Vanko Seaman. So Seaman will go to ninth, and Turner will go back to 10th. It's like Zachary Taylor is about to lose the draft, but the field is getting spread out. There's Brenda Eveling and Hannah Smith, the two Hendrick drivers, right behind each other. Of course, Brenda Eveling going to run the Pepsi colors we're going to have in a couple of weeks at Talladega. That's normally when we will see the Pepsi car, besides the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Jacob TwoTwo, not any better as far as I'm concerned. And Ericsson way up the racetrack there. I wonder if his car is getting a little tight through the center of the corner. Battling with Brad Lewis, his teammate Mia Watts, Ben Ericsson's teammate, that is. Betty Barrett having a run. There's Annie Crenshaw running in the 23rd position. Cody Smart, her teammate and team owner, right there. There's Annie Thomas having a quiet run. And Ben Tennyson has now taken the lead in the U.S. Army Pontiac. Or is now in second, right behind the 10 of Ashley Horton, who retook the lead, rather. Good to see Ashley Horton having a solid run. Like I said, she's led the most laps out of everybody so far in the 10 races, this being race number 10 this season. She's had the most consistent speed, but just just can't back it up with a victory. Believe it or not, if Horton wins, this will be the second Pontiac car to go to victory lane this season. We've had a Chevrolet go to, or actually, correction, third Pontiac driver to go to victory lane. Ashley Horton's another driver who could possibly get herself into the top 10 in points leaving today at Auto Club. And you think about Ashley Horton on this channel as far as everything is concerned, she ended up so far down in the points for, as Ashley Reynolds is going to take the lead. She ended up so far down in points. This was back when the charter system we still had for the Coca-Cola Truck Series is a thing. By the way, there is going to be a final season for trucks, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Monster Energy Series. Whenever that's going to happen, may push it to 2026 at the least. So that way, Carolina Bradley, who you will see her in the Truck Series next week, along with the other 35 drivers, we'll probably see Carolina Bradley be running some Monster Energy races. Once she officially turns 18, then she'll start running some oval races. But even if she goes to Victory Lane, Carolina Bradley is not going to be eligible for that. Ashley Reynolds, like Ashley Horton, also has struggled in Munster, where she's driving the UPS Ford of Robert Yates Racing. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to double check here. Neither Robert Yates cars have been to Victory Lane this season. Ashley Reynolds drives the number 14 Mountain Dew Audi, the Mountain Dew Kickstart Audi, for Stuart Haas Audi Racing. Struggled a lot, never found Victory Lane last season, the 2023 season. So it's been one of those seasons for Ashley Reynolds, trying to get Robert Yates Racing their first win on the season. And I believe would become the third Ford driver to go to Victory Lane if she wins today. Cannot believe last week we passed the 1/3 mark of the season. We'll be halfway through the season fairly soon when we get to the chase for the championship. Ashley Reynolds, a win for her will put her in the playoffs because she is somewhere inside the top 15. Came in this race 12th in the she came in this race 32nd in points. She was only 7 points back of 30th in the standings. I'm thinking of Ashley Horton. Ashley Horton would like to get a win to get herself into the playoffs because remember, she's 12th in points and her teammate Ben Tennyson right behind her. Betty Johnson not going to have a good run. Zachary Taylor, this is going to definitely put him out of the top 30 in the points table. So Taylor's going to be needing a good run to get himself back in the top 30 in the points next week at Las Vegas. Of course, all trucks, Busch, and Cup will have a 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time race from Viva Las Vegas. And then we will not see the Truck Series drivers until the second half of the regular season. As we're down to 2 laps of racing to go here, coming to the white flag as Ashley and Ashley, the Ashley show, just like we said, the Annie show. One out of MBV Racing, one out of Robert Yates Racing. Neither of these two have been to Victory Lane. White flag is in the air. One more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Who wants it more between these two? Because remember, Horton came in this race 3 points above the cut line. Can she hold off Ashley Horton? And we're down the back straightaway for the final time. Horton is going to have to hold off Reynolds. Reynolds is to the inside, just can't make the move. Looks like her car got a bit tight there. Ashley Horton came in this race 3 points above the cut line. She will make the playoffs. Ashley Horton will win the Auto Club 400 here at Auto Club. And now, has Ashley Horton locked herself a spot into this season's Winston Cup chase for the championship? Finally, something goes right for Ashley Horton this season. And this will get her in the top 10 of the points. Ashley Reynolds will get second. B Tennyson third. J Bouvier will take the points lead from J TwoTwo heading into next week at Las Vegas. Jessica Miller, fifth, came into this race 6 points below the cut line, 16th in the standings, so she will be inside the top 15, if not the top 10, leaving today's race. Well-needed run for Luigi Cadet, finishing 6th, 39th in points, good run for him. Tatum Wright will stay in the top 10 of the points with 7. Fanco Seaman, dead last in points. Well-needed run for that 15 team. Ponzo Alvarez, 35th in the standings, 9th. Riley Anderson will get 10th. Riley came into this race 29th in the points. So a couple of drivers who have been struggling in the points table, they're going to get some good results here as they complete the top 10. Top 15 was Kevin Joseph, Todd Montgomery, Annie Winters, Timmy Turner, our pole sitter, who led a good part of this race, and Sean Ard. As you look on down through the rest of the finishing results, J TwoTwo, the points leader, 31st. Zachary Taylor, 39th. This will take him out of the top 30 in the points, so that means his win will not count for a playoff berth. We'll have to see what his gap is going to be. Betty Johnson had a bad race, finished in 40th, but all 40 cars finished the race on the lead lap. Nobody finished the lap down or DNF today. But the points are going to be shaken up again heading into next week at Las Vegas. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Auto Club. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your points are down in the description heading into next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's trucks, it's Busch, it's Cup from Viva Las Vegas. Until then, I've been Deville signing off. Goodbye from Auto Club as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010, and we're celebrating 15 years as the best center racing around the world since 2017. See you next week from Vegas.